This is the material I'll be using for the tube gown. If you look at the material, it is two-way stretchy. Both sides are stretchy. This side is stretchy and this side is stretchy. But this side stretches more than this side. That is why I'm putting the stretchy side on the circumference side. So I'm going to use this side for the body circumference. And I'll fold it with the largest part of the measurement, which is the hip. I've folded with the hip measurement. So and now the hip I'm working with is 40. Because I don't want it to be too tight, I'm going to cut exactly on the measurements. If I want it to be a little bit tight, I will deduct 2 from the measurement. But I don't want it too tight, so I'm going to cut exactly on the measurements without seam allowance. First, I will take out the borderline. I'm using this so that we can see. I will take out the borderline, then the gown length. The gown length I'm working with is 60. So I'm going to mark 60. I'm also not adding any seam allowance because there's probability that the material drops at the end of the day, and my clients don't want it to be flowing, so I would rather use that exact 60. Then the next thing is to take the shoulder line. The shoulder line I'm working with is 15, so I'm going to take that 15. I'm not going to add any seam allowance. Then from there I will go down by 0.5, just the normal way of measuring. Then on this neckline I'm going to take 2.5 because there's probability that it's a stretchy material, so it will still stretch. So I will take 2.5 here, and I'm going to take 3 inches down. I'll give it a nice cuff. I'll mark out my 7.5. The armhole depth. Now I join the shoulder slope. The armhole depth I'm working with is also, I will also take 7.5 for the armhole depth. So after that, the bust I'm working with is 36 divided by 4, that is 9. I'll mark on 9. The armhole, I'm going to mark the center, which is 3.75. So here I'll come in by 0.75. And I will join my cuff. I will join the back cuff first. The back cuff first. Then I will also join the front cuff. So this is the back cuff, this is the front cuff. Now the next thing is the half length, the waistline. Now going down the waistline, I'm going to take 16 for the waistline. On the waistline, the waist of my client is 30 inches. So 30 divided by 4, that is 7.5. I'm going to take exact 7.5. Then on the waistline, I'll go down by 10 inches and take my hip line. The hip I'm working with is 40. 40 divided by 4, I have 10. I will join these points, the chest points to the waist points. Then with my hip ruler, I will join the waist point to the hip point. And then I will just join it out. I'm cutting down. I just join it out and cut down. It's a straight down. So after that, let me draw the back neckline because I'm going to use this for the back. What I cut here is exactly what I'm going to cut for the back. So for the back, I'm going to draw out 1 inch. And just cuff it out. So that is the back neckline, and this is the front neckline. The next thing now is to cut. I'm cutting on the back line first. So I will cut on this back line. This So I'm going to use this to cut the back first before I now shape it back to the front. So now I'll be cutting. I've cut the back. This is the back. I've cut the back pattern just exactly what I cut for the front. Now I'm going to cut out the front neckline and the armhole depth. But for this front neckline, I want to extend it. I want it to go down a little bit because I'm not going to slit the back. It's a tube gown. I'm not going to slit this back. So in order to create space for the head to go through, I need to go down by 2 more inches. So the neckline depth for the front will be 5 inches. For the depth, not the width. I'm not doing anything with the width. I'm only extending the depth. So it will now be 5 inches. So I'm just going to cut through now. So the next thing I'll be doing is I'll take this to the machine now. I will join it this way, shoulder to shoulder. I'm just going to join the shoulder to shoulder, then I will join the side. I will also join the side down. and sew in the hem. The next thing I'll be cutting now is the collar. The collar. So the stretchy part, the most stretchy part is what I'm going to use. So the side that I use for the body circumference is the same side I'm going to use for the collar. The next circumference I'm working with is 15 plus 1 inches. I have 16. So I'm going to cut out 16 inches. The height of the collar I want is 3 inches. So I'll be cutting out 3.5 by 15 inches. Let me make it 3. I'm cutting out 3 inches in fold, 3 inches in fold. If it's opened, it will be 6 inches. 3 inches in fold. Then the length will be 16 inches. So this will be my collar. I will just take this to the machine, open it up this way. I will sew it down. Then I will turn it inside out and overlock it down. Now I want to cut out the sleeve. For the sleeve, I would have preferred a long sleeve, but it's a pity my material won't be enough for a long sleeve. So for the sleeve, I'm just going to use whatever I have as the length of the sleeve. And for the sleeve, here, I'll be going, this is the tip of my dress. This is the tip of my dress. From this tip, I'll be going down by 3 inches. Then I'll mark 8 inches in all. 8 inches in all. Then I'll take 7.5. I will draw a diagonal line. And half of the diagonal line I drew, the length of the diagonal line is 8.5. So half of it is 4.25. I'm going to mark on the half of it. Then for the sleeve, let me check the length. So this is likely to be a 3/4 sleeve. So the 3/4 measurement of the sleeve circumference of the person I'm working with is 10. So I'm going to take -2, that will be 8. I will take 8. And the upper arm of the person is 12. So for that, I'm going to I'll just use my curve ruler. And I will cut out. So I'm going to use this to cut the second sleeve, and after cutting I'll take it to the machine, sew the hem and sew it down. Now I've sewed the sleeve, you can see. I've sewn the two sleeves. This is the band. I have also sewn it and overlock it. Now this is the gown. I've sewn the hem. This is the hem. I just sew it in with half an inch. Then the next thing is fixing of the sleeve and the neck band or collar. So to do that, I'm going to turn it to the wrong side. Then I'll take the sleeve this way. I'll make sure I find the center of the sleeve. After locating the center, I will tuck it in like this. Then the sleeve arm, the seam side of the sleeve, I will match it with the side seam. Then I will hold down with the pin. Then this place that is the center, I will match it with the shoulder seam, also with the pin. And by the time I'm sewing, I will just follow round and sew. I will do the same thing to the second sleeve. Then for the neckline, I'm going to I will be folding this into 4 equal parts. So I will notch this side. So I'm using my marker to mark it. Then I will align it together and stretch it a little bit to find the center of the side. And I will also mark it. You can notch if you like. I just don't want to notch because the material is somehow stretchy. So after I've marked the first side, I'm going to do the same thing. I will take the seam side and align it this way to know the center. I'll mark the center, then folding the center to the seam side, I will also mark the second center for both. Then I will now align it to this. I will allow the seam side to go to the side shoulder seam. Then the side, I will now come to the side. I will align it together this way and put it down. Then for this, I will also align it this way and hold it down with a pin. So just the same way like I'm sewing the band of a tube gown, that's the way I'm going to sew this strand, and I'll take it to the machine now. I'm going to make sure that I stretch this neck to match this place while I sew. You see that it matches it. So while I sew, I will just stretch the neck on this tip to this place and sew it down until I sew round. Then we will look at the finished look of our gown on the mannequin. So thank you for watching.